The Man City vs Arsenal press conference. Did we learn anything? I think we actually did this time around. I think there's actually pieces of information in there that we can actually analyse. But not just that, I've been doing a deep dive into this Man City team, and I'll tell you something, I've come out of that feeling way more comfortable about this game. I actually think we're going to go there and win. I'm pretty convinced of it, in fact. So make sure you stick around and find out what that information is. But before we get into it, if you enjoy this daily Arsenal content, just do me the favour of giving me a thumbs up on this video. And don't forget, I'm doing a live watch-along at a Man City vs Arsenal game tomorrow. So just pop in and say hello. So let's get into it. So the first question that Mikel Arteta was asked was obviously about injuries. Asked about Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel and Saka. And what he said is, yes, there's a chance. They haven't trained yet. We have another session, so there is a chance they can be available. And that makes me feel good because he's not outright denied it. I don't think he would anyway. But kind of by the way he answered the question leads me to believe that I think these guys are going to be ready. And it kind of plays into the fact that the news that we've been hearing all week that certain players have been staying at the training ground to work on drills behind closed doors. They're secretly working on these tactics. That makes me feel a lot more comfortable about the information I was given that maybe might be happening. Okay, so the next question was about the international break. And he did say, you know, did it come at the wrong time? And he said, we just maximised the time here with some of the players that we had. So again, you know, that is all leading into the information that these guys have been hard at work on the training ground, trying to break down a tactic or trying to put a tactic together to really hurt this Man City team. You know, we've had key players from this squad. You know, we've had our most vocal defender in Gabriel. We've had Tomiyasu, who didn't go to the internationals, who's kind of been coming back from injury. But we know he's played in the behind closed doors friendly. So he'll be available. Saka and Martinelli, you've got your two wingers to work with as well. Gabriel Jesus didn't even go. So he's been able to work with a lot of these players. And like I said, try and put a tactic together. And when you add that with the information that I'm going to go through later, that's what's making me feel a lot more confident about this game. A lot more comfortable going into this Man City game. So Pep Guardiola, he was asked about injuries, the same question. And he said Ederson is much, much better, but John Stones and Kyle Walker are out. I mean, we heard whispers yesterday that might be the case, but for Pep to come out and confirm that, crazy. They're missing Kyle Walker and John Stones. Now, I don't listen to every single Pep Guardiola press conference, so I don't know if this is, you know, a bit of a lie. But it doesn't come across that way. Everyone is reporting that they're out, and now he's pretty much confirmed it. And he didn't even just say it's going to be for one game. He said it's going to be a number of games, and Kyle Walker is in a worse position than John Stones. That is music to my ears. And I'm sure that's music to the ears of Mikel Arteta, Gabriel Martinelli, Saka, especially Gabriel Martinelli though. Like I've said before, these two are probably similar in pace, so that would have been a good battle regardless. But to know that he's not got to go up against Kyle Walker, the fastest defender in the league, he must now be looking at that back line of Man City and almost licking his lips. I think Gabriel Martinelli can have success in this game, and it makes me feel slightly more comfortable as well. Because say if, okay, Gabriel Martinelli can't make it, you've got to play Trossard. Trossard would have been marked out of the game by Kyle Walker. He wouldn't have been able to deal with the pace of Kyle Walker. But he's not going to be playing this game. So even if it is Trossard, I feel a lot more enthusiastic about the results that he can achieve against this Man City team. Brilliant news. And then he was asked about Declan Rice. You know, the reporter said to him, you tried to sign Declan Rice last season, you know, and it didn't happen. Do you appreciate how good Declan Rice is doing now or something? And what he said is, since I've been here, there have been players we want to that didn't decide to join us. This is not the first one. And he said all the teams in the Premier League would have signed Declan Rice. And I think if I'm looking at this side, these two sides, I think Arsenal have a stronger midfield. And you might be thinking, what are you talking about? Man City have got the strongest. I don't think they have. I think with the addition of Declan Rice, Arsenal's midfield is now the strongest in the league. Yes, they've got Rodri, but they've lost a massive key figure in that midfield that I think's made them drop. And I'm going to go through what I was finding out this morning, or kind of the information that I've been going through, okay? So, to me, Man City are not as good as they are last season. You know, that's just doing the eye test. And then when I actually started to deep dive into the stats, that is confirmed. This team isn't as good as they was last season. And I think the midfield has a massive role to play in that. Gundogan was one of their best players last season. They've lost him. So not are you only losing that leadership, that combativeness, you're losing the goals, the assists. Listen to this, okay? So, Gundogan, last season, he scored 11 goals and 7 assists. Like, where have they replaced that? Has Kevin de Bruyne been doing better? No, his levels dropped. Has Bernardo Silva been doing better? No, his levels stayed pretty much the same. Listen to this. Kevin de Bruyne, so far this season, 2 goals and 13 assists. Compare that to last season, 10 goals, 31 assists. Yes, Kevin de Bruyne's been injured, but they're still losing them goals. They're still goals and assists that need to be made up somewhere else on the pitch. And judging by some of the stats of these other guys, they're not making them numbers up. So for that reason alone, this team is way stronger. Listen to Rodri, okay? This season, 7 goals and 11 assists. Last season, 4 goals, 7 assists. So that just proves, Rodri's having to chip in more further up the pitch because they're lacking the midfielders to now do that. Rodri's having to push further up the pitch to try and get involved in goals and assists because they don't have no one else. Like I said, Bernardo Silva, similar level. And even if you go look to the forwards, Haaland, he's not having as good a season. Jack Grealish, he's not having as good a season. This season, 3 goals and 2 assists from Jack Grealish. Last season, 5 goals and 11 assists. So this is a massive drop-off. And you might say, well, they've brought Doku in. He scored 4 goals this season. They are missing so many goals. And then you add into that Arsenal have the best defence in the league. So not only are Man City struggling to score, Arsenal have a stronger defence, not only than Man City, but every other single team in the Premier League. I think Man City might struggle to break us down. Now, I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm just giving you the facts. Over the course of a season, the facts don't lie. And the facts are, they've let more goals in this season and they're struggling to score as many goals. They're struggling to be more creative and they're losing more midfield battles. Last season alone, they conceded 33 goals through the whole season. This season, we've got 10 games left and they've already conceded 28. So not only is their midfield weaker, their defence is weaker, and their attacking positions are weaker. So that's why now I'm looking at some of these predictions that people have put forward in the chat, and they're saying 3-1, and I'm thinking, yeah, listen, I would love a 3-1. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Now I know what people are talking about. Now I can start to see where Arsenal can rock up to the Etihad and put 3 goals past Man City. I don't think this is going to be like last season where we went to the Etihad needing a win, and they battered us. Absolutely played us off the park, dominated the midfield, and basically sent us packing. I don't think they're going to have the ability to do that this season. I don't think they have the strength this season. Plus, like I said, the defence is weaker and they're missing Kyle Walker and they're missing John Stones. John Stones is pivotal to the way they play. He pushes up into midfield. He dictates play. He starts the attacks from deeper, which allows sometimes Rodri to push forward. I think Man City are banging trouble in this game. Like I said, I feel way more comfortable going into this game than I have playing Man City for about 10 years. I'm always going into a Man City game thinking, no, listen, if we escape with a draw, I am buzzing. I'm happy all weekend. If Arsenal can go to the Etihad and get a draw, sign me up. But now, I wouldn't take a draw. What does that tell you? That tells you Arsenal are in a position where I think we can go there and win and make a statement. Score prediction. I was going with a 2-1, but after breaking everything down and sort of analysing all the information, I'm probably going to go with a 3-1 as well. But it's crucial that those rumours that we've been hearing about Saka, Martinelli, Tomiyasu, Gabriel working on that training ground, drilling the information in. If that has been happening, if we see those guys starting, I think Man City are in trouble. And I think Arsenal really can go there and put on a performance that not a lot of people expected. Of course it's going to be a tough game. I'm not playing down Man City. Man City, in terms of strength and depth, they are the best team in the league. In terms of players, they are the best team in the league. But they're not quite at it this season. We've heard Gary Neville come out previously and say the season after winning the treble was the hardest season he's ever played. Because you go from being on such a high to then being in the thick of it again and needing to rise to those levels again. And once you've already reached the peak of the mountain, it's harder to get there. And are we seeing that with this Man City team? It doesn't appear that at the minute because they are still in all the competitions. There's still so much to play for. But I think Man City might just have lost the edge. And in the Premier League, against another team like Arsenal, that's all it takes sometimes. That's all it takes. You drop a tiny bit and the other team rises. That's the margins in the Premier League. But I would love to hear people's thoughts and suggestions about everything you've heard in this video and about the game in general. What are you expecting? Have Man City got weaker? What's your score prediction? Like I said, I'm going for a 3-1. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Like I said, just do me the favour of giving me a thumbs up on this video. Just like and subscribe. And I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video for the live watch-along. Gooners, have a good day.